Hi, Soul Family. Jenna Pinkstone, the Southern Oracle, signing on and syncing up with you today to talk a little bit about all of the turbulence and all of the issues going on in today's world. I may offer some light language at the end for healing, but what I want to talk about is an interesting transcript that I will post in the description section of this video by Dave Chappelle. It is called the Birdman Revelation, and it's something that a lot of people have been talking about since it came out on Netflix a couple of years ago. And it speaks to many things in innuendo. It speaks to many of the, I guess you could say, the conspiracy theories, as well as all of the occult information that many people have tapped into for years. I mean, I've been following this for 5 years since my awakening personally. And I know many people personally that have been following it longer. We talk much about in the news these days of the word systemic racism with the Black Lives Matter movement and what exactly that means. And I'm not here to negate or to disregard any movement that brings about more freedom and less persecution for certain groups of people. That's not what I'm here to do. What I'm here to do as my own personal soul signature in this incarnation is I'm here to help humanity to merge these dualistic concepts into one greater wisdom that all of us can behold. And I'm here to tell you, Soul Family, that anything that purports to elevate one group by way of, I guess, putting our thumb down on another group, anything that is there to elevate one culture, one group, and the way in which they intend to do that is to oppress another group. For whatever reason, it does not matter. That is the first red flag, Soul Family. I don't delve deeply into a lot of the conspiracy theory content. I spent years doing that. I'm here to tell you that a lot of it is what you might call fear porn. I even have a word for it that I made a meme about it. And I posted it on Instagram a while ago, and I call it the conspiracy theory, okay? And what the conspiracy theory is, theory, F-E-A-R-Y, what that is content that is created by a person whose sole intention in their heart space has nothing to do with elevating or delivering wisdom or helping people to see with their own eyes. What it's there to do is to actually serve as clickbait to make others afraid and to make them keep watching in a habitual and systemic way, like to continue on the trajectory timeline of fear, so as to bring fortune to that person's channel or to their movement or to their book or whatever it is they're trying to peddle. That's their intention. And I want us to pay close attention to people's intentions, Soul Family. This is an important aspect by which we can use to discern that which is a conspiracy theory and that which is an actual truth that deserves a little bit more of our focus as a collective. Okay, so let's begin. As far as the Birdman revelation goes, I found it interesting that a lot of what he referred to, he referred to so much in this transcript. He referred to the Me Too movement. This was a couple of, I mean, I believe Black Lives Matter had started as a movement, but it wasn't quite so pronounced as it is today. But he does refer to the oppression of the Black community in this transcript. He refers also to the he refers to human trafficking. He gives a story and he relates it as to what it meant to him and how it actually relates to his own story and why he got out of Hollywood. He alludes to many things in this transcript, Soul Family. And you may not like Dave Chappelle, you may not prefer his humor, but I urge you to take a little bit of a closer look to what he is saying in this transcript of the Birdman Revelation, because he speaks in a deeper concept that I want us all to ponder, and that is that when a system is corrupt, the individuals who benefit from that corrupt system are not the enemy. They're actually victims as well. And he speaks of also very much to the all of the different rapings and all of the different things going on in Hollywood that I would venture to bleed over into Capitol Hill, especially at this time, whenever we're looking at the Jeffrey Epstein aftermath of his death and what all of that means and what the media is sharing with us, and in practicing our level of discernment for knowing what's real and what is contrived. It's a very important time for us, Soul Family. It's an important time for us to look a lot further within rather than looking without for the truth that it is that we seek. And I don't delve very much into all of this. I did think about at one point in time going further in down this rabbit hole with respect to the content that I wish to share with my soul family online. However, after much meditation and much counsel with my guides and with Spirit, I decided to leave that to others who were better suited for the role, and to focus instead on blending all of our different programmings. We are programmed from childhood, Soul Family. Many would argue that we're even programmed far before we're ever born into this body. That's neither here nor there. A lot of it doesn't matter, honestly. The actual facts do not matter, because something that Dave Chappelle said was that in order to create a lasting peace, you actually have to acquire some imperfect allies. And I looked deeply into that concept on my run this morning. I felt into that concept with respect to all of these people that are doing all of this wrong. And you can deny the fact that there is human trafficking. That will not make it not true. You can deny the fact that there are very, very powerful, elite, and prominent people in Hollywood, on Capitol Hill, in all corners of the world, that in one sense they have each other's back, but in another sense they're actually victims of the own system that they believe they're benefiting from. And I found it profound that Dave Chappelle spoke of this, because it's something that until we truly acquiesce and bring back into the fold with a welcoming spirit and an intention of love to all of these people that are engaging in all of these heinous acts, that if you look closely, you will see that there are heinous acts being committed against children, against women, against really every different group. And the only reason the media separates these different groups into different types of people is to create the further division between us as a collective so that it can never become reconciled. Because the reconciliation of all of us in the end is actually the greatest fear of those who seek to keep this systemic issue going, to keep this corrupt system working, okay? And honestly, the only way, as Dave Chappelle said, we are going to create a lasting peace with these rapists, with these people that are, they're stepping on the backs of other human lives in the wake of their, in the wake of them believing that they are making it in this world. So if you truly step into their shoes for a moment, you will see that they are far more tormented than we would like to admit. They are far more tormented, and they are actually more victimized in many ways than the victims that they claim. Because if you step into their shoes, then you will see that from their perspective, they are doing what it is that they need to survive in this corrupt world of which they also were born into. And if we are able to reconcile them in a way, I know this will be hard. I have issue with reconciling pedophiles. I have issue as well with that. I'm a human being too, soul family. And a lot of these heinous acts make my skin crawl and make me want to recoil from that and say, oh no, that's just a villain. That's not a part of me. But in essence, we are all a part of each other, and we all have something to speak to in terms of what is happening in this world. And the longer that we hold these horrible people, these monsters of society, these villains, as separate from the rest of us who are better, who are elevated, who are here, and we are the only victims to all of this horrible stuff going on, as long as we hold these two things, these two groups as separate of one another, then the cancer continues to grow. I reference Jonathan Adam Pants frequently, and he was one of the cornerstones of my own enlightenment process. And Jonathan Adam Pants speaks of, in one of his original videos, that cancer is actually just this that I described on a smaller scalar level within the human body, in the way that all of our cells make up in a scalar fashion. Like first they are cells, and then they are molecules, and then they are groupings of tissue. And from there, the groupings of tissue make a scalar jump to organs. And from there, the organs make a scalar jump to the human being, okay? And from there, the scalar jump from this single human being is all of the human beings. We all human beings are like individual cells in the body that is this earth, okay? And the way in which cancer happens is by trauma. It is by trauma inflicted by the sun on our skin that cancer can grow. It is by trauma of an emotional sort. Many people have reported that their cancer was cured after they actually transported themselves upon the trajectory timeline of when their childhood trauma occurred, and they healed it. and their cancer disappeared. Okay? So these are all concepts that I implore you to research on your own. And if there are any questions or concerns or any things that you would like to discuss with me, another human being who has done her own research for many years, I implore you to connect with me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and you can connect with me on a more personal, intimate level on Patreon as well. We are growing a garden in that soul family, and we are discovering amazing things from each of our individual soul signature experiences of incarnation on this earth, okay? However, it's important to note that whenever we, as a person, become afflicted by trauma, and the way in which we carry that trauma with us ongoing has the potential to create cancer within us. Now, this cancer is, it's certainly a problem within the individual, but it's also a problem on a macroscopic scalar level to that of the human race. Okay? And whenever we continue to hold these groups of people apart as separate, as villainous, as evil, as wrong, and we should just completely smite them away off of the earth, that soul family is actually creating the cancer that will be the ruin of us all. And it is my belief that this is why Dave Chappelle speaks so much of having these imperfect allies, by creating a lasting peace. And the way in which you do that is that you delve deeply into the shoes of these villains, of these inflictors of trauma, these tumors, if you will, of the cancer, and reconciling the flesh and the tissue that cancer is comprised of back into the healthful body center of the entire organism that we all are. Okay? I will go ahead and post that in the transcript of the Birdman revelation, because it did kind of reawaken some of these kind of older, more different and different trajectories of exploration and discovery for me, down the conspiracy theory alley, that I wanted to share with my soul family in a genuine and authentic way, in which that speaks to me and what I feel is important for all of us as a collective to embark upon at this juncture, right? So I want to leave you with a couple of key points. Do not persecute anyone moving forward, regardless of what political faction they have been brainwashed to align themselves with. Don't persecute someone for the color of their skin, no matter whether they are white or black or whatever. It does not matter. We are all one. Do not persecute people that are within the elite, thinking somehow that these people that are in the media's eye, they are victims as well. The true villains that want to see this cancer continue like wildfire across humanity, you will never know their name and you will never see their face. And despite that heinous intention that they hold within their heart, they are in need of our love as well. And a reconciliation is what they fear the most. Okay? So I will leave you with these thoughts. And if you want to explore a session with me, or if you would like to connect with me further on Patreon, I will leave the links to those in the comment section as well. I thank you for connecting with me on this very interesting trajectory of exploration today, Soul Family. This is Jenna Pinkstone, the Southern Oracle, signing off with you today. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to my channel for future offerings. Thank you.